In the wake of unfairness in education, I feel like this is a good Angela Anaconda episode to look at. Here is The Girl with All the Answers.
This week in class, we have been playing a game called Questions and Answers. That is not really a game, but is actually just Mrs. Brinks trying to trick us into learning. But who cares? On account of Gina Lash is winning the Q&A game that is not really a game.
Being happy for your friends.
All right, class.
A-okay.
You know the rules. Whoever answers the question correctly receives a gold star. First one to receive 50 gold stars wins the crown.
The only one who could possibly beat Gina Lash is Nanette, but only because Mrs. Brinks helps her cheat.
College scandal. Future college scandal. I guarantee you Nanette's parents are bribing Miss Brinks and future colleges.
Is smarter than Mrs. Brinks and Nitty were combined. Copernicus.
Good guess.
She's so sad, too.
Seeing as
Rude.
Gina Lash only needs to correctly A one more Q to get her 50th gold star, today is surely the day she will be crowned Q&A Queen of Hi, Ms. Lash. Is Gina Lash ready for her big day today?
I'm sorry, Angela, but I'm afraid Gina's sick.
Sick?
We think it might be food poisoning.
Oh. But Gina
Aw.
Lash, you can't be food poisoned. You still need to A one more Q.
Sorry, Angela, but last night I went to Taco Mama's all-you-can-eat taco shack. Let's just say I bit off more than I could chew. Ugh.
The fact that it's a taco place makes perfect sense.
Is everybody ready for you know
Processed food,
Yes, sir, Madame.
infamous diarrhea
Now
incidents from
that my
Taco
only
Bell.
competitor has foolishly eaten herself out of the game, I will surely wear the crown.
First question, what creature's mating call sounds like this?
The human.
Wasn't the sound of the
That creature never made.
That was a really good joke on Johnny's end.
I'll give you a hint. It's feathery and has wings. It sounds like 3 words. Whip, poor, will.
Who's poor Will? We're poor Will? What's up? What?
Excellent, Nanette. You're absolutely correct. The answer is whippoorwill.
Not doing her any favors.
Sometimes I forget how smart I am. Sometimes I don't forget how sick you make me.
And now for the next question. Let's see.
Life's not fair.
Ah, here's one. And it happens to be right up your alley, Nanette.
The only answer to this Q&A problem is to get Gina Lash back to school. What do you mean you're still too sick to come back to school? You're only a little green today.
There's no way I'm ready to go back to school, Angela. I only went back on solid foods this morning.
I also like the fact that
Mrs. Brinks
she's
is
got
gonna
an ice
be
pack on her
all
head,
the answers, which means she is also
which you
getting
often
her
see
own
after
star.
hangovers.
I brought my science book over. I thought I could help you study.
Don't worry, Angela. I'm still well in the lead. Remember, all I need is one more star to get the crown, which I fully intend to do as soon as I get my strength back. Could you pass the gravy?
Jimmy Jamal. Gina Lash. No Gina Lash? In that
Gina's
case,
actually pretty
let's
good this
get started
episode.
on
Pretty
Q&A.
neutral.
Oh.
And
As I
it just
mentioned
bothers me
yesterday,
that
today's Q&A
she is
category
so
will be
much just a
science and
stereotype.
nature.
She's either smart or a big
Mrs.
eater.
Brinks,
And I think there could have been a lot more done with her.
Gina Lash's house on account of I brought it over to help her study.
Very well, Angela. Hurry up and grab another book. There's one left on the shelf over there. Angela, will you take your seat or are you planning on reading it there?
Huh? Teacher's edition? Mrs. Brinks, I think there's been a mistake on account of the...
Sictum Sempra!
Anaconda? What part of will you take your seat did you not?
Plot of the Half-Blood Prince before the Half-Blood Prince.
It's important that I talk to you on account of what I have to say is really important.
Back to your desk, young lady, and I don't want to hear another peep out of you unless you have an answer.
Angela with an answer? I'm sorry, that's just too funny. Oh yeah? Well, not as funny as it's going to be when I out-answer you, Ninny Poo, on account of I do have an answer.
And she does try to own up to it, but Miss Brinks is
Now,
not
if there are
having
no
it.
more interruptions, Angela.
So you can't even
let
say
us
that there is
begin. What
that she's
animal
intending to cheat from the
commonly serves
start.
as a perch for the snowy egret?
A cow.
Angela Anaconda, I did not. Oh, you're right. The answer is a cow.
Does this mean I get
suppose it does.
Excusez-moi, Mrs. Brinks, but thanks to a certain rude student who did not wait to be called on, the rest of us didn't have a chance to answer. I feel it's only fair that we have a do-over.
Excellent suggestion, Nanette dear.
Huh? But, fine.
That's how the college admissions worked.
Wait just long enough for Gina Lash to get back and win. Next question.
Class,
Man, I should have reviewed this
from now
episode a
on,
lot
when someone
sooner.
knows the answer, they must ring their bell like a civilized person. No more rude blurting out of answers, Angela. What are you people anyway?
A bunch of barbarians.
Mr. Abati, couldn't you tell that that was a rhetorical question?
No.
Johnny's funny this episode.
For the first question, what type of scrumptious food do great white sharks prefer?
Seals.
Angela, I suppose you're right.
Now do I get a star?
Oh, if you insist. Water is...
2 hydrogen atoms and an oxygen.
I didn't even get a chance to finish the question! You're right again.
I don't know, wouldn't that have tipped Miss Brinks off?
Suspension bridge. Hypotenuse. Galileo. Isosceles. The speed of light.
Right again. Angela Anaconda, why, you must be a mind reader.
Granted, I don't know if Miss Brinks is savvy enough to catch onto the plan.
One more answer like that, and I do believe we will be crowning our new Q&A queen.
Me? A queen? Maybe Q&A stands for Queen Angela.
And now for what may be
I like the sound of that.
question of the game. What fruit common to tropical climates is known as the king of fruit?
The mango. The answer's the mango. I'm going to be the Q&A queen. Now that I am the question and answer queen with all the answers, people from all over the world will line up to ask me questions. Tell us, oh wise Queen Angela, who has
Oh,
more
boy.
stars than anyone, why do I always kiss Nanette's butt? And why do I always kiss Nanette's butt even more? Ninny's Clone Club will ask. That is an easy one I will answer. It is because you have no brains. Which they will offer me 1,000 thank yous and try to kiss my feet.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
Gordy will say to the next person in line. Then Brinksy Wixie will ask to take a souvenir picture with me on account of I am her star pupil and most talented student ever. Today's subject is
That was funny.
I will not even need the
And gold's a heavy metal, so that would have hurt.
Which of the following best describes Nanette Van War? The game show host will ask me
Ooh.
A, fake, B, phony, C, a prissy princess, and D, definitely not French. The answer is all of the above.
Angela!
Huh?
I'm assuming that you have the answer to my question since you have been ringing your bell for the past 3 minutes.
So that's how long revenge fantasies usually take.
I would take the crown from my best friend, which is wrong. The yam.
The yam? Are you sure?
Sure, I am sure, on account of I am positive.
Well, Angela, you're wrong! Would anyone else care to answer, Nanette, dear?
Merci beaucoup, Mrs. Brinks.
You only have a few stores to go. Let's see if we can't wrap this up today.
I can't look.
The king of fruit starts with a...
Mango!
Correct! Congratulations, Gina Lash!
Gina Lash, you're back!
Good heavens! Why on earth are you out of bed?
I've come to collect my crown. Plus, I didn't want to miss Salisbury's steak day at the cafeteria.
Yes, very well. I suppose that does give you 50 stars.
Oh, no, Queen Gina!
Wow! I hope we've all learned a valuable lesson from this week of...
Miss Brinks didn't learn
Why
anything.
do I even bother trying to teach you children?
For your health?
My science book! Well, something tells me I won't need this anymore, on account of the girl who really knows the answers is back. Well, Gina Lash, you just
wonder what that
won the
broke.
Q&A crown.
easy question, Angela. I'm going to Taco Mama's all-you-can-eat taco shack.
No one learned a thing. Man, public school really needs more funding. The thing I really like about this episode is the satire and just how relevant this episode is, especially with the college admissions scandal. For those of you who don't know, wealthy parents have been bribing schools, including sports coaches, test prep, officials, etc., in order to get their kids into elite universities, which robbed more deserving students with higher GPAs and sports accolades, but may not have had the money of their position. So it was a lot bigger than anyone realized. Seeing Ms. Brinks help Nanette cheat, and then see Nanette think it's because she's that much smarter than everyone, was so on the mark, so accurate, so funny. It's so relevant. Man, that was really ahead of its time. And another thing, you see why Angela does what she does this episode. You don't see her going straight to cheating. You see she's trying to own up to it. You see that she's trying to turn the book in, but then Miss Brinks, obviously with her delusions of grandeur, says no. You get this commentary that Angela almost has to go the dishonest way because she's prevented from winning the honest way. She's prevented from doing the right thing because of how unfair this class is set up. So she does have to go the dishonest way in order to get any kind of advantage. So that was really cool to see. You don't automatically hate her for it. It's made very understandable here. And there's some real commentary about class divide, unfair system, privilege, all of that. You even see that her hatred of Nanette has less to do with Nanette as a person and more about, I hate how unfair this is. I hate how Miss Brinks likes her for no clear reason, that she punishes Angela for equally no clear reason. At least in this episode, she does still hate her as a person, generally speaking, especially because there was more of a history with them. But this episode tended to focus on the factors that make it worse. The unfair environment that they're in that blatantly favors Nanette over Angela. And you just can't figure it out, but there is that class divide. There is that inherent imbalance. So, excellent on that front. You also get to see more of the side characters this time around. Gina and Johnny are not nearly as developed as some of the other characters, and there's not a ton really given to them. Johnny Abadi was hilarious this episode. He got some really good jokes in there. And Gina Lash, who is my least favorite character, she wasn't that bad this time around. While she is still the smart one and the one who eats a lot, it wasn't as bad as other episodes. And you do see that she is deserving. She is deserving of the crown. She is deserving of the gold stars, which is great to see. And they do take that third option that, hey, you know, Gina really is the one who deserves this. She's the one who is the best at this game and deserves that crown. As opposed to other episodes that I've seen where usually the structure is competition between Angela and Nanette. Nanette cheats, revenge fantasy, Angela wins. This one didn't do that. It was a nice change of pace. And I do realize the thing that I absolutely can't stand in TV shows, and it's not just something I've seen here, I've seen this in a lot of shows, I can't stand when characters are terrible friends to each other, which is why I've harped on Gina as much as I have. Because her selfish moments really do stick out, and there's not a ton of heartwarming moments with her. So here she's really not that bad. I would have liked to see a little bit more, but that's more with the show in general. It's not Brenda McCauley's performance. Brenda McCauley does a very good job. She has a very sweet sounding voice and she's very pleasant to listen to. But Gina Lash doesn't have as much of a character. She doesn't have a ton of problems to overcome. She has a lot of the same jokes over and over and over again. Even more so than Johnny Abadi, who's not really as focused on. He was, again, hilarious this episode, but even he has some problems to deal with because he's trying to be a good man, and he has this sleazy role model, Uncle Nicky, so there is more for him to work with. And he does... The show kind of does this, kind of doesn't. That he likes both Angela and Nanette, and he doesn't really switch off between them so much, but he does get caught in the crossfire of their rivalry. And I don't think he really gets it. I don't think he thinks it's about him, or he's given really bad advice. There is an episode where he's given really bad advice from Uncle Nicky, and he tends to think it's about him. It's really not. It's one thing I really do like about this show, even though the original intention, going by the Kablam shorts, was Angela likes Johnny, Johnny likes Nanette. The show isn't really like that. This is probably one of the only shows where there's a female rivalry and it's not over a guy. Even Mean Girls and Wicked do this. So I do really find it really cool for that it's more about Angela and Nanette's rivalry on its own, and the unfairness around that, and the unfair environment that they're in that causes this, the issues that they've had that cause them to clash, maybe some of the underlying potential friendship between them or potential love interest with them. But I really do find it so unique that it's really not about this guy. And if it was, there really would be so many questions, because I do not get what anyone would see in this kid. Not that he's bad or anything. I certainly don't take too many issues with him. But I certainly do not get why so many characters would have a thing for him. Maybe it's the free pizza. That's my guess. Oh, I do not view the Kablam shorts as canon, by the way. Simple this time around, but I really, really do like this one. It felt very ahead of its time, very funny, good character motivation, very different in structure, but still true to what it is. Fun with the characters that have already been established, focus on some of the characters you don't usually see too much from, and overall, a thoroughly enjoyable episode.